actually wanted to start by talking about something very small but powerful in the film, which is the first scene where you see the kid Noor catching the attention of this Afghan woman by pushing her glasses off her lap, which he uses to sort of get her attention and get, switch seats with her. Then she becomes a kind of family to this Syrian family. And I found that gesture as the starting gesture for a film that is about such big and heavy ideas. It starts with this almost like a moment of childlike comedy, so touching. So can you talk about that, like how you incorporated, how you wrote in these little gestures into this film, these little human-to-human gestures?
Well, when we were writing script like that, and I've been writing it with my co-screenwriters, you are like collecting the moments like that. We didn't want to shoot the problem. We didn't want to shoot the issue. We didn't want to shoot our political agenda or whatever. We wanted to enter the point of view of the specific human beings, and exactly because they are human and because they are specific, we are looking for those moments of truth, which sometimes is embarrassing, sometimes is funny, sometimes is touching. And Noor is 12, 13 years old boy, and first time he's on the plane. He spent his childhood, practically the most of his childhood, in the refugee camp. And that is for him the great excitement and the great occasion to really see with his own eyes, and that stupid woman is sleeping and not blocking him the view and not taking the advantage of her privileged seat. So especially at the beginning, when they have the space to be themselves, we wanted to show that kind of situation, and their choices and their behavior became reduced to just running and running away and screaming and so on. So it made it even more paradoxal that the refugees, through that established by Putin and Lukashenko, it means two dictators who made it on purpose to shake and destabilize the European Union. But it started in a very civilized way. They had to buy visas, they had to buy the plane tickets, the plane was nice. The stewardesses have been very polite. They received the roses. They've been thinking that
they are going to paradise.
Yeah, that it will be easy for once, after the years of nightmare and sufferance and starving. It will be easy.
I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the specific political situation the film captures, the green border between Belarus and Poland, which, I didn't know that much about until I watched the film. This whole, and I don't know how many people in the audience do this, how Belarus's, dictator Lukashenko kind of lured immigrants with propaganda and then kind of used them as a pawn against the EU, which has developed such a strong anti-immigrant stance over the last many years. Could you sketch that out a little bit for the audience?
Well, that is the specific situation, but in the same time, it's the part of the bigger image, because the dictators and especially imperialistic dictators like Putin is, they figure out that the migrants and refugees can be extremely efficient tool to exactly, as I said, destabilize. Especially the European Union is their main enemy right now. But they also, I'm sure that they are encouraging some movement in South America, and certainly they are working very hard on African inner situation. But also Syrian war was in some point like manipulated by Russia. And I'm not speaking even about Ukraine, where the invasion, full-scale invasion, they started in 2022 in February, triggered the millions of refugees fleeing the country. And I'm sure that it was one of the reasons why that war, and why that war is that kind of the war, because he's saying, okay, Europe is racist, so they will welcome Ukrainian much nicer than Syrians or Africans. But after a few years, it is very easy to start, to spread the feeling of discontent and frustration that why they are here, why they are touching, the social services, and why the schools are suddenly full of those kids and they behave badly and the crime rate raised. All that things which is used against the migration in any country. Brexit was also manipulated by that kind of the narration, and the main enemies have been actually Poles. Because Polish population, after Poland joined European Union, was allowed to go to Great Britain to work there. So suddenly, and they went not only to London, where they are like melt with others, but they went also to the smaller towns. And suddenly, the British people have seen those like noisy and drunken and smelling differently people in their pubs, and that made them angry. So, it is very easy way to shake our stability, because we are really worried about our identity first, of the white rich people or relatively rich, and about our comfort.
People in the audience who don't know, Agnieszka has received intense opposition and hatred from the right-wing leadership in Poland for the film. The film has been compared to Nazi propaganda, which is outrageous.
Yeah, Nazi, Goebbels, Stalinian, Putinian, anything.
Yeah.
I had the collection of very nice description of myself, but in that time somehow it played for the good, even if I received the threats of that and need to hire for a few weeks the bodyguards when I was moving in Poland, around of Poland. But because the polarization in Poland is very big, it's very similar to that in the United States. So the half of the people have been on my side. And actually, because the people in power then, the governmental forces, so overdid that attacks that the people say, no, come on. And actually, it was great promotion for the movie. I wish to...
I was told by Tomek, who's here from the Polish Cultural Institute, that people believe your film influenced the election. It influenced the fall of the right-wing
I believe it too, because the reactions of the audience, and like close to 1 million people watched the movie, was so emotional and so like somehow liberating that I hope that the change will be maybe a little longer lasting, but it's not. So I didn't have too much of an illusion, but I had some. I thought that maybe, the people will remember. Anyway, that is not so important what happened to me. It is important to me, of course. And also it was somehow unprecedented. No one before attacked in the democratic country, the member of the European Union, one artist, for the way he's receiving and showing the reality in his fictional film.
I think none of the members of parliament who were talking about the film had seen it. I mean...
No, probably not. The new one, they've seen it, actually, at least they claim that they've seen it. But they say, but it's not completely accurate. I ask, what is not accurate? Tell me. Or they say, maybe then it was like that, but now the situation is different. When we are ruling the country, the border guards are very polite. But in the same time, I have plenty of proof that they are not polite at all. Anyway, I don't want to go to the details. What is important? Important is if you start to dehumanize one group of the people, after you are on the path which unfortunately is leading you not only toward the fascism, the open fascism, but also to the to the massive crime. If 85% of the people accept of one country, one European country, that it is right to shoot the migrants if they have different color of the skin, it means we are not so far away from from building another Berlin walls around of Europe and to shoot anyone who wants to pass and to bomb the boats on the Mediterranean, which actually the border guards of Greece are killing the refugees which try to reach.
And I mean, it was just last week that Biden introduced a policy that would allow asylum seekers from Mexico to be pushback, to be pushed back across the border. So
yeah, the pushbacks it's all the time in Poland. It happens, and it happens also on Mediterranean, except that we are pushing them not to their country like Mexico is, or to country which is similar to their country. We are pushing them to Belarus, where they are tortured, raped, and beaten, or to the sea when they are drowning and die. So are pushbacks and pushbacks. But I was listening to the declaration. I don't want to be mistaken, but probably it was Texas governor who said that in the moment when Joe Biden will lose the election, they will be shooting the migrants. So I think that the future doesn't belong to nice people, frankly. And the question is who we are, if we are human beings or if we are just afraid of the change, members of the special society.
that's all the time we have with Agnieszka. She's heading to another Q&A. But thank you, Agnieszka, for changing our worlds with this movie.
Thank you.